the generals. It was the freaking United Nations.
That's what I'm saying. If we had the generals run it, we would be over. The war would be over within 24 hours. If we had the generals run it. However, the politicians, what do? They gotta drag it out, and they just like what they did in Vietnam. What do? Well, you can only bomb Tuesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. The hours between 10 and 1. Guess what? The enemy said, fine, we will fire at the airplanes at that time. And guess what? We lost a lot of airmen because of that. Because of that stupid decision.
That's just like President Obama.
Yep.
He has made the biggest mistake of his life because he announced when our troops are supposed to be leaving Afghanistan.
That's correct. He made a deadline. He put a deadline for us.
Think about it. If you're the Taliban, all you have to do is sit back and wait until our planes are fully loaded with our men and women. And as soon as our planes take off the ground, all you have to do is sit there with RPGs and blast at every plane that takes off.
Yep.
And you will have one of the bloodiest and the biggest loss of American troop lives in American history.
No, since World War II. Since World War II, actually. Since World War II, we lost. And guess what? We have I want to stop you right there. During World War II, we lost 400,000 airmen. Okay, now these are troops air support. Okay, they're carrying These are troop carrier jets, right? That's what they are. Troop carrier planes, and they can blast these things out of the sky. Like I said, with the NMG, they can do that. And because we gave them a timeline, it'll be just like the same rate as we lost in World War II. 400,000.
We lost a lot of very brave African Americans during that time.
That's correct.
They were known as the Tuskegee Airmen.
That's right.
We lost a lot of them because of that.
Yep.
You had our white soldiers or our white airmen. If you watch the movie called Tuskegee Airmen, in 2010, I was actually up in Washington State and in Seattle, and they had some of the Tuskegee Airmen up there with some of the planes that they used in World War II, and some of the Tuskegee Airmen that were still alive. I actually got a private tour and a private flight on one of I forget what the name of the bird is, but it's got the guy that sits, lays on his belly and shoots out of the tail. There's also a man on each wing that sits in a bubble that fires shots.
That's a B-17.
You have a guy that is actually in a bubble below the pilot.
That's a B-17. That's a B-17 you're talking about. B-17.
Yes, a B-17. You are absolutely correct. Well, I was up there, and I got to meet a lot of the Tuskegee Airmen that are still alive.
Right.
And they gave me a tour of the B-17, and then they were taking the B-17 up, and they said, would you like to go up? And I said, actually, it would be an honor. So it was me, there was two other current veterans, and there was 9 Tuskegee Airmen that went up in this B-17. And we all got to trade places, with the exception of the pilot, of course. Because I don't know how to fly B-17. But, I did get to sit in the co-pilot seat.
Mm-hmm.
I got to sit in the rear gunner seat. I got to sit in the front gunner seat. I got to sit in both of the wing gunner seats. And let me tell you, my hats go off to the Tuskegee Airmen because, you know, on one of the last missions before they got popular, you know, racism was real bad back there in that time.
Yeah.
And the Tuskegee Airmen, because they were black, ended up getting the shit aircraft.
Right.
Excuse my French, but that's what they were. They were shitty aircraft.
Right.
And there was one mission that our white guys, it was more of a suicide mission, but our white guys were actually going, they were supposed to be escorts for some bombs that were going over into Germany. Hang on just a second.
Yep.
Put you on speaker while I turn my TV down. The white pilots never showed up.
Right.
And the Tuskegee Airmen, because of the oath they had given, stayed with the aircraft, and we lost 4 Tuskegee Airmen during this mission.
Right.
But, you know, the Tuskegee Airmen stayed with them and made sure the mission happened, because the bombers, the B-52 bombers, you know, are not made to go anywhere unless they're escorted by either helicopters or you know, the B-17s,
the B-29s,
et cetera, you know, that have gun power behind them.
Right.
You know, that have
the B-24, the B-20, the B-25, the P-51, the B-29. So yeah, that's what we have in World War II. The B-29, the B-50, the B-25, the B-24, the B-17, and then you got your P-150, your P-51 Mustang too as well. And of course you got. And of course, you got your also your Bobcat. You know, you had a Bobcat fire too.
You had your Bobcats and you had your Tomcats back then.
Right.
You know, and you know, whenever the Tuskegee Airmen made it back home and the mission was a success, that's when our Tuskegee Airmen started getting respect and literally started getting the aircraft that they needed, and there was a lot less discrimination between the white pilot and the black pilot.
Right.
You know, and if you watch the movie, I talked to a couple of the Tuskegee Airmen whenever I was up in Seattle back in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them, I said, I've seen the movie Tuskegee Airmen.
Mm-hmm.
How accurate is that movie? And they said, minus stuff that is classified, that movie is very, very accurate.
Mm-hmm.